Hello, my name is Andrew. On this channel, I often go by Nostalgic. I'm making a serious video today, and it's something that I've been waiting to make for several years. Now, the issue with making this video is I can't say and won't say the person that it's about's name. For legal reasons, I don't want to even cause any problems. I just want to say what happened from my side of my perspective in one of the worst relationships I think humanly possible. When I first met this person, we basically hit it off. I had known that she had already liked me, and it ended up evolving into a point where she wanted me to live with her, and I wasn't immediately for it, and this upset her. And to me, I had just gotten in this relationship after having problems with another girl, and it had became apparent that it was much more than I anticipated. Into the relationship, she started blaming me for not being there for a supposed miscarriage and had used that against me our entire relationship. Um, After a few months of living with her, it started to become violent to the point where anytime we'd get into some sort of verbal argument, she would become physical. And this would result in me actually crying and cowering. Some of the worst things that you can do in a situation like that. And I essentially let her abuse me until about 6 months into the relationship when she found out her dad was smoking crack. They got into an argument and we ended up moving to my family's home where I had originally lived. Now, from this point on, it seemed like things were getting better because I was around my family. I had a support structure and everyone got along. It seemed fine. And soon enough, problems started happening where we would argue at my house, and my sister would tell us to separate, and it would come to the point where she would always take my side, but instinctively pretend like she was on the other side to try to comfort because everyone saw what was happening. This girl has given me black eyes through our relationship. So many things that I'll get into. So I'm leaving out a lot of details, but I think it's for the best. I think that I can touch all bases without having this to be, too in depth. Um, she ended up getting into an argument with my sister one day about her animal, and she threatened to stab my pregnant sister. And this was the end of it, of me living at my house. I decided to take my ex-girlfriend's side for whatever reason, and it was definitely crazy of me. We ended up going back to where her father lived, and we stayed there for another 6 months. During that 6 months, we had a friend live with us, and that friend was witness to her biting me, getting arrested, and me not pressing charges. However, there was a no contact order, and I broke the no contact order and still stayed with her during those 3 months. The cop even said to me, "You need to leave her or you're gonna die." Those were his exact words, and to this day, I still believe that he was right, but at the time I didn't. And problems insisted when I wouldn't clean her animals' cages, her animals' feces, clean her dishes, her house, cook her food. And I essentially became the bitch in the relationship. Um, Little did I know she was cheating on me the whole time. I only realized after. I mean, everything's in hindsight. I didn't realize most of this until after. Mentally, I wasn't there, and I still have a way to go myself, but after all these years, I'm mentally able to tell this story correctly. She had said that I had physically assaulted her, but there are several times where she's bitten me, and I have several scars on my body to prove it. She stomped on my head before, kicked me in my genitals, threatened that if I left her that she would cut off my genitals. Some of the most craziest narcissistic things that you can think of. I really don't want to say even more, but it's the truth, and it's crazy that I've even gone through this and am able to speak about it clearly and in depth. I have a memory thing. It's not photographic, but I remember most things with the most important details. They kind of imprint in my brain. And I still even have dreams where I'm cool with this person and I know what they mean. I know exactly what they mean. And I just want to move on from all of the mental trauma that I've been through. During the 6 months that we lived back there at her father's, she had ended up getting to a fight with him again about the same reason. And we ended up moving back. Even though I had not talked to my family in several months, they were still willing to take me back with her again, back at the same house. And towards the end of the relationship, I had found out she was cheating on me and had realized because she was sending videos in the shower when I walked in on her. And she was saying that I was invading her privacy when we're in a relationship. It was not out of the ordinary for me to walk in the bathroom while she's showering. Like that is black. Like, it's completely. So, I mean, it's all from the person's perspective, but at the end of the day, I ended up. I want to get back to when we ended up moving back here the last time. Throughout all of this, I had worked a full year, and I was supporting her half the year with my family, or not half the year, a full year. I had worked and supported her, along with us staying at my family's. In a year, her dad supported us, with us living at his. But it was two different scenarios. For one, I was trapped, and for two, I was here. But it was still this kind of feeling of I can't do anything. I had previously lost jobs because she argued with one of my coworkers because she was being too nice to me. Essentially, she thought she was flirting. I ended up stopped going to work at one of the best jobs that I've ever had because I had the feeling that she was cheating on me, and I didn't want to go to work every day while I was getting cheated on, and it just didn't feel right. And at the end of the relationship, we had spent several days away from her father's house where we were living at the time. We had moved back, and she was telling me that I couldn't grab my stuff after breaking up with me because I had called her and said that I wanted to go back so we could check on animals, things like that. And she didn't like that and broke up with me and said it was a long time coming. And I ended up going there, knocking on the door, asking her dad permission to grab my stuff. I grabbed my animals that I had, which was 2 cats and a bunny, and I ended up leaving with my stuff and my animals. And what ended up happening after this was she had started lying to people, saying that I had physically assaulted her, and everyone that was close to me and had witnessed it knew that that was very far from the truth. And she made it seem to the court system, essentially, that I was in the wrong. Now, I really don't get law. I'm not a lawyer. But I think if a judge heard the full story of everything, they would know that I was essentially a man trying to cherish a woman while the woman was trying to make the best of it, I guess. I don't know what the term would be. Now, I hold no resentment towards girls for this. I know that this is like a 1 in a billion thing, like winning the worst lottery you ever could win. I don't blame men either for it. I don't think that men are at fault. I didn't make this video to get 1 million views. I didn't make this video to gather attention to myself or promote some sort of agenda. I made this video because it's simply my truth. It's the truth. There's really only the truth and somebody's lies. And I don't like lying. I'm a truthful person. I have always felt that women should always be protected. A man should never hit a woman. In the times that we were together, I never laid a hand on her. People say I've defended myself, right? And my sense of defending myself in any of those situations would have been putting my hands out and pushing and nothing more. It's always been me physically getting attacked, either stomped on till I blank and black out and freak out, or I'm crying on the ground. And I'm not like that anymore. I'll never be like that again, but it's what I experienced, and I definitely learned from it. And no matter what anyone says, if someone is abusive to you in any way, mentally, physically, emotionally, you should probably just get the fuck out of there. I don't know if this is the case for everyone, but I mean, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to stay in a relationship where you're not valued and where you're going to end up being labeled an aggressor when in truth you're the victim. I will say that I stand for all men of wrongful accusing anyone who's been accused of heinous things that didn't commit them, especially towards a woman. I have the full sympathy for them. Anyone who does commit those crimes, I seriously hate them. I've always had one rule in my life, and it's women and children. That rule being always protect them and never hurt them. It's how I was raised. It's part of my beliefs, and it's just part of my honor system. And for not only that to have been how I feel, what I believe, but also the opposite being said about me is not what I want. I want nothing but peace and positivity and showing kindness and loving people. And That's not at all what any of that was. I went through some of the worst things ever, and I don't think that me even talking about it in a 15-minute video will get the full story across. This is just essentially the gist of it, and I feel like this is just what I need to tell. So, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great night, great day, whatever time of day it is for you, and I appreciate you.